from Tianjin at this given point. The first up, we are bringing to you news with regards to Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, who has in fact seemingly arrived at the very SCO summit. This is the big news that we are bringing to you. And remember, viewers, all eyes currently are on Russia, India, China, Troika. The hours from now, the Modi-Xi handshake is to take place, which all eyes have been set on. It's a new chapter in the India-China story. All eyes on the RIC Troika. The Tiger Dragon reset in Tianjin. Has the Himalayan divide been bridged? Prime Minister Modi is in China after 7 years, which is what makes it historic given the circumstances, given what is followed in terms of relationship between the two countries, between India and China for the past 5 years, more than 5 years in fact. Handshake for peace and progress, and we bring to you both visuals at this given point of how Prime Minister Modi was welcomed on your left, and now how the Russian president has also reached at this given point in Tianjin. He will in fact just be descending from that very aircraft at this given point. These are live visuals that we bring to you on the right side of your screens right now, viewers. Big news and big day for India and for China, for the Pacific region, in terms for a multipolar world. There are big particular highlights that we are all awaiting from the Modi-Xi meet. And at this given point, we have Pranay Upadhyay joining us on the broadcast. Pranay, very good morning to you. It is a very big day for us at this given point as we are keeping a close watch on the SCO summit. But more importantly, before the summit, we have the India-China bilateral meeting that all eyes are set on. 3 T's that we see: tariff, trade and terrorism being on the table as to what comes out of this meeting on these very 3 matters.
Good morning, Shreya. And indeed, this is a big day because Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in China after 7 years, and especially after what happened in Galwan and the kind of tensions India-China ties witnessed. This is significant. The bilateral meeting between President Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also, it's a courtesy meeting because Chinese President Xi Jinping is host of this SCO summit, but it assumes significance because Prime Minister Narendra Modi has traveled to China after 7 years, and his participation in the SCO, as you mentioned, about the very significant T, which is terrorism, because India fought Operation Sindoor, against Pakistan on this very pretext and on this very reason, because of the Pahalgam terror attack. So what Prime Minister Narendra Modi discussed there, because China also played an important role in helping Pakistan at that point of time. So therefore, this will be significant that what Prime Minister Narendra Modi, puts across during the bilateral meeting as well as in the multilateral engagement in the forum of SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Because, in 2001, when this SCO was founded, the very idea was about the security and the economic growth. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has always maintained and said that any, to realize the dream of economic growth and cooperation, this cannot be done without, addressing the problem or challenges of cross-border terrorism. Interestingly, Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif is also there because Pakistan is also a member of SCO. However, there is no bilateral or there is no engagement between Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif there, though they would be there in the same event, and this will be the first time both after Operation Sindoor, Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif will be there in one event. And as far as the engagement of Prime Minister Modi is concerned, he'll be meeting President Xi Jinping today, and we are expecting, like India hopes that in terms of improving India-China relations, the disengagement has happened. De-escalation is following it up, but as far as the economic cooperation is concerned, India hopes that there should be a greater market access because, the trade deficit is a big challenge between
Right.
India
Pranay,
and
stay with us.
China.
And I'm very sorry to interrupt you there, but we're also being joined by senior journalist from Tianjin, Anil Pandey. Mr. Pandey, thank you for speaking to us, and a very good morning to you from India at this point. My first question would be, it is a big meeting awaiting to happen between Prime Minister Modi and President Xi Jinping. We're looking at a time where India is already battling tariffs against the United States. We're looking at a time when India is also battling terrorism against Pakistan, which is an ally to China at one point. And at the same time, we're also trying to look at a particular settlement which is long lasting between India and China as far as de-escalation goes. There's a lot on the table. What are we in fact expecting from this very meeting?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a great chance for China and India to make their ties better, especially as we know that America and the Trump administration have leveled a lot of huge tariff on India. And we are seeing, we have witnessed for the last few months that India-China relations are rebuilding, are on a positive trajectory. And yesterday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi landed here in Tianjin, and he met with the Indian diaspora, Indian community, and also we could see the enthusiasm in the Chinese community and also in the Chinese government. Officials also, sources told us that China and India are definitely going to have better relations, as we have seen for the past for 1 year when Prime Minister Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping met in Kazan in Russia. Since then, relations are going in the right direction. And what we have seen recently that both the nations, both the leaders from both the countries have met. Like, for example, few weeks ago, Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar was in Tianjin, was in China as well. So he met Chinese officials, and also last week, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi was in India. So we have seen that China is eagerly waiting for Prime Minister Modi's SCO for meeting that Prime Minister Modi is participating. As we know, there are many other leaders will be taking part in this, and this is the huge summit in China after COVID, as we know. And Tianjin is the port city, is very close to Beijing. And yesterday, when Prime Minister Modi landed at the Tianjin airport, he was welcomed by Chinese officials, even Chinese community, Chinese kids, and also Indian community members. So we are seeing China-India relations are definitely on the rise and on a good note. And so we should be hopeful that the two neighbors, the ancient civilizations, must come closer, must come together. And as we know, the bilateral trade should get better, and also the visa exemptions and the direct flights is on the cards, are on the cards. So people are waiting to board from Beijing to Delhi, direct flights, and also from Shanghai to Mumbai or Delhi. So I can see the enthusiasm in China among Chinese people and also Indians here. So but as we know that China and India, if they work together, especially on the platform like SCO and also BRICS forum, so definitely it's a big message for the West, especially for America, that India, China, and Russia, the three important nations on the planet, can work together and make their differences away and then move forward. So it will be a big occasion for China and India to take their relations in a good way. Especially, we know the Galwan clash we have seen almost 5 years back. So since then, relations were not good, and also now I think a lot of positive enthusiasm in China and a lot of positive attitude I could see in India as well. So we are waiting for some good news in coming days.
Whether the winds change, that is what we are awaiting to, in fact, witness from this very bilateral meeting. But let me also ask you this here. India has been a strong contender and supporter of multipolar order in the world, in the geopolitical landscape. Whereas if we look at China, in the Pacific itself, they have always maintained that they need to be the main power, the single polar power, and no other power to be shared with any other nation. Do you think this very fundamental difference might actually also get thawed in this very bilateral meeting? This might also be addressed by the two leaders?
By and large, I feel that India and China both need each other. They need to have good bilateral ties. As we know, both the nations are neighbors, and one can't change its neighbors. So definitely, although they may have different perspective on the international platforms, but we have also seen that both the nations and the leaders like Prime Minister Modi and Chinese President Xi Jinping have exactly same ideas. If we talk about the to curb the climate change problem or the global warming or international platforms, they definitely have a lot of there is a lot of scope for both the nations to come together. In fact, China often says about the multipolar world, but we will have to see how China and India both can reduce the mutual trust they are not having. They are having the trust problem. The mutual trust is lacking there. So definitely after this visit of Prime Minister Modi, when he's going to meet Chinese president, so we are going to see something big that is world looking at. So it's a big occasion. It's a big opportunity for both the nations to rebuild the ties at this juncture when the whole world is having so many problems, like we are seeing Russia-Ukraine war, and also world is unstable. So India's role is definitely very important, as well as we know, China is a key member of many organizations.